Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 6 ways for you to find your fitness inspiration, and that video is starting right now. I just want to sum up what I mean by fitness inspiration and why it's so important for you to look for inspiration if you're starting to do fitness. Now, your inspiration for fitness doesn't exist on Instagram. I'm sorry, it's not there. That is not the source to go to for fitness inspiration. If you was to type in Fitspo onto Instagram, the results you get are what can only be described as fitness self-indulgence. It's basically a bunch of people trying to make a bunch of people feel like crap about themselves because they don't have a body that is apparently conformative to fitness inspiration. I think a big debate in fitness comes from we need motivation. We all sit there and we all think motivate. How can I motivate my client? And then we also think about how can we keep motivation going? And I think the key to keeping your motivation going comes from this, which is what I call the success loop. Now, in motivation, and if you watch my other YouTube video on how to keep your motivation, then you will understand that I talk a lot about first we have to take action, then we have to get results, and then we get motivation. And for as long as you're taking action, you get your results, and then you get your motivation, you're gonna do just fine. However, I think there's something I need to add to that now, and I think there's something that you need to take on board with your fitness journey in order to help you understand how to keep motivation going. It's over here, how to keep motivation going as much as possible. And that is we need to add inspiration. I call the motivation loop. Action is do, results is track, motivation is repeat. And I think we need to add into that the topic of learn or educate. And that's where your inspiration is going to come from. When you start to learn and educate yourself all about fitness. And motivation is a push factor. You push yourself towards something. The problem is with that is if you push a lot, and in the gym, if we get someone to push a lot, their shoulders are going to get more rounded, their back's not going to be as strong. We have to create balance. So we have to do a pull. And that's why a lot of workout splits will be push, pull, legs. That's what we do. So when it comes to your motivation with which to do something, yeah, great, have motivation, do it, let's go. Let's have that push. But you also need to pay due care and attention to the pull. You must create balance in the factors as to why you're doing something. And that's what inspiration is. Tchikovsky said, inspiration is a gift that does not visit the lazy often. What he meant by that is you have to work on your inspiration. I've been studying about manifestation a lot recently, and the point of a manifestation is that you don't just sit there and just try and make something happen with the power of your brain. You're not Matilda. What you have to do is you think about it a lot and you start cultivating a behavior with which to change the way in which you're operating. And it's the cultivation of that behavior. That's what the manifestation is, because you start changing the way in which you operate. If you want to get fit, manifest your fitness. Manifest it, sense it, feel it, let it inspire you. Learn, educate, read, all of these things. All the things I'm going to get into in this video. Cultivate a behavior that's going to help. You have to work on being inspired. It won't come to you like that. And the next 6 points in this video, are going to be a plan which you can work on your inspiration so that you keep getting pulled towards the gym as well as being pushed by your own innate motivations. So let's get into it. What are the 6 best ways to find your fitness inspiration? Number 1 is we need you to connect to a higher purpose. What do I mean by that? I don't mean get all religious. I don't mean start praying to Hercules, the fitness god. What I mean is we often talk about goals in fitness, and a lot of those goals, if you're struggling for motivation, a lot of the goals that you're going to be using are what we call extrinsic goals. And extrinsic goals are things like, I need to get into that dress. I need to lose 2 stone. I need to do this. It's something that's outer. It's something you want to achieve for the outside world. And there's nothing wrong with an extrinsic goal, except what we find is when we achieve the extrinsic goal, often we don't feel like we've accomplished something. I've had many clients hit their goal weight and actually they kind of look at me and go, oh, is that all there is? I thought there'd be more. And there isn't. And the reason for that is because they've been focused on the outer. Intrinsic means we're going to focus more on the inner. Inspiration, inner goals, inward looking. That's where we need you to start looking to really figure out what you're going to do. So what kind of higher purposes would these be? Well, I find I get great success with clients when I say to them, look, why don't we do this to inspire your family? Why don't you become the leader of your pack? Why don't you inspire your family to get healthier? Why don't you let your child see you work out? Why don't you take your child on long walks? And when they ask, why are we doing this, other than you having to carry them, why don't we discuss, well, because it's how you stay fit and healthy. Why don't you encourage them to eat more vegetables? Children will follow people. And if they see you leading by example, they're going to follow without a shadow of a doubt. They're going to follow you because they want to do what their parents are doing. Become an inspiration to your family. That's a great intrinsic goal. Another one could be, I really want to feel sexy again. Nothing wrong with that. That's perfect. And that's an inward thing. That's how you feel. That's building your confidence up. I want to feel confident. I want better self-esteem. All of these are intrinsic goals. They're a lot harder for you to measure. So when we look at the motivation and now the success loop, when we get to track, it's a bit harder to quantify. You're going to have to look a little bit deeper. But when you start looking, you'll start finding. It's about opening your eyes and seeing what is truly in front of you as you progress through your journey. Number 2, follow inspirational people. The amount of people I see who want to transform their lives and they don't try and change the environment of their consumption. You've got to learn to overhaul what you're watching, what you're doing, because when you do that, you'll start to educate yourself. The whole point of this video is about education. And when I say follow more inspirational people, I actually don't mean just follow them on Instagram or Twitter or whatever you do. Search out their longer form content. As opposed to reading the news each day, read someone's blog. I've got a great one, www.thegymstarter.com/blog. #ad. Or listen to their podcasts. I recently asked my clients in the Fitness Collective, what health and fitness podcast do you listen to? They didn't really. They didn't even listen to the Fitness Solution. #ad. Which broke my heart a little bit. The reason it made me sad is because they're not going forward with trying to educate themselves. And those that do, those that listen to other voices, those that get wide ranging of opinion, they can then sculpt their own view on the topic. And that is really valuable. I'm not so knowledgeable about fitness because I was born with a brain all about it. I listen all day, every day. I read all day, every day. I've been doing that now successfully for 5 years. The second I'm in a car, it's a new podcast. The second I'm on a plane, it's a new audiobook. The second I'm on a walk, it's new information in my ears, in my head. I personally am an auditory learner. I know that about myself, so I use that to the best of my ability. If you prefer reading, read these people's blogs, read their books, get them on Amazon. Turn off your Netflix subscription and put that money into buying their books. And you're going to find a body of work. And that's really what you're after. You're going to find a body of work which matches your belief and is something that you agree with. And once you start listening to more voices in the field that you agree with, you're going to be more resolved against actually achieving what it is you're setting out to achieve. Life is all about balance. And it's no good for you to just have the voice of your personal trainer. It's no good for you to just have the voice of one political party. It's no good for you to just have the voice of one opinion in terms of what you're doing. The Fitness Collective is £20 a month. #ad. The reason it's so affordable is because I want people to slide it on top of what they're doing, on top of their gym membership, on top of their PT sessions, so that they can have a different resource, so they can educate themselves in a different manner if they feel like they want to. But it's all about trying to build a wider base of knowledge. Listen to podcasts, read websites, read books from really inspirational people. And that education is going to inspire you. I never personally feel more inspired to create content than after I finish listening to 15 Minutes to Happiness by Richard Nichols, or The Fat Loss Prescription by Dr. Spencer Nadolsky, or listening to the Jordan Syatt mini podcast. They fire me up inside. And that's what keeps driving me forward. That's why I get the energy to do this. Follow them on YouTube. Hit subscribe below. And that's really, really, really going to help you educate yourself, build a wider base of knowledge, and keep you inspired. Number 3 on the list is engage in art. You heard me correctly. A big part of understanding your fitness journey and a big part of finding your inspiration for you to succeed in the long term in terms of your fitness is you need to understand your humanity. What your fitness journey will reveal to you over time as you do it. By engaging in art, you're going to hear a lyric in a song. You're going to remember a different time in your life. You're going to find inner happiness. You're going to find inner drive. And all these things are incredibly important when it comes to just figuring out why you want to do this for yourself. It will interlink to those intrinsic goals we spoke about. I find inspiration from a Jackson Browne song. I find inspiration from listening to the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. They just fire me up in a way. They put fire in my belly and they make me want to go again. Whenever I struggled for inspiration at drama school, I'd just go and sit in the National Portrait Gallery and I'd try and understand human behavior from a still painting. Now, I'm not saying you have to become Tchikovsky, and I'm not saying you have to follow the work of Mozart. We all find different music, different theatre, different books inspiring. But there's something beautiful about exercising your imagination in that way. And when you start learning to exercise your imagination, you'll start playing with the magic if. And the magic if in your brain is going to very much take you forward when you start coming to number 6 on this list with visualization. And it's going to seduce you to go to the gym again. It's going to make you want to achieve what you set out to achieve. And that can be very, very powerful indeed. Become part of a fitness community. Join people who want to do what you want to do. It sounds crazy. It sounds almost too obvious. But when we surround ourselves with people who are trying to achieve the same things that we're trying to achieve, then 1, we're going to be more adherent. 2, we're going to listen to their stories, we're going to see what they're up to, and they're going to drive us forward. Personally, I'm not such a fan of finding a gym partner and going to the gym with a partner, because what you start to do is you start to create a codependence upon that person being there. And when that person's goals change, or when that person starts becoming less reliable, it's going to stop you. You should never tie your fitness journey into someone else, unless it's someone you're paying for to provide it for you. But even then, I had a conversation recently. Someone paid for a trainer, gave them a couple of £1,000 for 3 months. The trainer was on them all day, every day, telling them what to eat, telling them what not to eat, telling them what was good, what was bad. Seeing them 3 to 4 times a week in terms of physical training. And then when the client could no longer keep up that financial commitment, the client started to regain weight. She wasn't empowered with which to achieve that herself, which is really sad. The trainer had created a codependence. That's why I don't like people tying in their fitness journey to someone else. But having a community of people, reading people's stories. Recently, I went through my Facebook group and I got rid of quite a few people from it. The amount of people who came back to me and said, I know I haven't commented, I know I haven't said anything, I know I've never messaged you, but thank you. I've learned so much from being in your group. That's what a community is. When you see someone doing something amazing, yeah, get a bit jealous. Yeah, I want a bit of that. Get a bit inspired. If they can do it, I can do it. Listen to other people's stories. That's similar to what following inspirational people is about. Listen to people's stories. Because as human beings, we love stories. And when someone just gets that story right at the right time for you, you're going to get inspired. I'm sure my clients learn more from the conversations I have with other clients that they hear and they see. The problems that the client I'm talking to is going through is probably a lot more similar to what they're going through than what I can just imagine they're going through. Join a community. it's going to inspire you to keep taking steps forward. Low intensity, steady state cardio. Number 5, long bouts of lists. That could be walking, it could be a light jog, it could be kayaking, canoeing, stand-up paddleboarding, hiking, mountain climbing, it could be cycling, it could be skateboarding, it could be rollerblading, it could be swimming, open water swimming, it could be lake swimming, it could be surfing, it could be paragliding, it could be whatever you want it to be. And the reason I believe this inspires people to keep going, because all of these things will get you into nature. And nature can be a very humbling experience for you. I remember when I was in Austria, it was amazing. But never have I felt so insignificant in all my life. There I was in the middle of a mountain range. And these mountains were huge. And it wasn't even a big mountain range. Like, it wasn't the Alps or anything like that. It's just mountains in Austria. And it made me feel like a very, 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 very small cog in the world. In fact, it didn't even make me feel like that. It made me feel like a speck of dust. Why is that important? Because we can get very much caught up in our own stories. We can get very much caught up in our own problems, our own issues, our own lives, and we almost become the central character of our own soap opera. Drama all around, stress all around. That's very unhelpful for you, for your fitness, for your fat loss. It's all really, really unhelpful. It will come, it will go. The world keeps spinning. And feeling that small empowered me. It inspired me because it made me realize that the world is such a big place, that I've got all the time in the world to achieve everything. The world will keep spinning no matter what happens to you. So don't let it bother you that much. It's never life and death. It's only ever life. Because if it's death, you've got no choice about it. You won't know. It'll be too late. Get out into nature. See the birds. See the butterflies. See the animals running about. See how big the trees are. Just allow it to move you. Allow it to make it give you gratitude for your existence. And that's a really inspiring thought. And last on the list is something I call active visualization. Professional sportsmen, before they go into an arena, before they go into any kind of competition, they will all go through a process of visualization. They will all try and envisage what's about to happen. They'll try and picture themselves kicking the ball. They'll try and picture themselves hitting that shot, doing that serve, with everyone around them. And the reason they do that is because it takes stress away from them when they're in that situation. Your brain can't tell the difference between fact and fiction. And therefore, if you play a scenario in your head enough, you're going to convince your brain that you've already done it. You're going to convince your brain that you've been there, that you've done it, that it's easy, if that is the visualization you use. So the more you practice thinking about yourself as that person, as the person you want to become, the more you look at yourself as a person who goes out and walks more, the more you look at yourself and you think about yourself and you view yourself in a different environment, then when it comes to making that become real, it becomes a lot easier because you've already built the memory bank in your brain with which to create it. The brain is a very tricky thing. It's very clever, but it can't tell the difference between what you have done and what you haven't done. Often in a situation, before I'll step into it, if I think it's going to be a difficult conversation, I will picture in my head, how is this going to go? What am I going to do? Before I'd step on stage, I'd visualize my first few moments just so that I'd hit the ground running almost. Because I didn't want to get caught in the headlights. And my brain would be like, you've done this before. You know you can do it again. Let's go. Have you ever heard the phrase, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail? Well, that's what it is. Visualize it. Before you go to bed, visualize yourself getting up and going to the gym the next morning. It's going to be easier for you to do it. When I ran the marathon, I visualized every moment of the track. Yeah, it turns out the track was a lot longer than I visualized, but I did it. I visualized it and it helped me get through because I thought I'd already done it. And once I taught myself that I'd already done it, it made the execution so much easier. Alert your senses. See if you can smell what the gym smells like. See if you can feel what a weight feels like. See if you can taste the food you want to eat because you know it's going to help you get to your goals. Alert your senses. Visualize, use your imagination to help you. Educate yourself on the situations you want to put yourself into. That is going to keep you very, very inspired indeed. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I really hope that you understand a bit more about inspiration and you can see how it's going to play a part in your fitness journey. Go educate yourself about fitness. Learn all about it. I don't mean become a personal trainer. I mean learn about your humanity and how your fitness is going to interact with your life. If you need any more information, any more resources, feel free to look through the channel. Right here, I've got a video for you all about 6 easy ways to stay consistent in your fitness journey. And then right here, I've got a video for you, which is a client testimonial by someone called Liz, who's astounding and you're going to love it. Right, that's it from me. Peace, love, and protein. High fives and positive vibes.